Oh, and did you guys hear about that college girl that went over to she was in West Bank. She was a Turkish American citizen. She was in West Bank and she got sniped in the head. She was in one of the protests in West Bank. Because they're having protests in West Bank for the raids and demolitions of the houses and the settlements of
No, I
all
didn't
that
hear
shit.
about that. That's
So they,
crazy.
yeah, it
And
was
she was
a
an American citizen, though.
American citizen and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, dude, literally just said, "Yeah, it was a terrible mistake. It was an accident, one that we will investigate jointly with the state of Israel. They will become launching an investigation into that." People tore into this. They were like, "Yo, wait. So the people that shot her in the head are the same people that's going to investigate the matter?"
Yeah, it's always like that. That's crazy to get that now never should have happened, but like
Sure.
super wild that you went and thought like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna valiant effort. You know what I mean? Honestly, big balls to go and into literally a war-ridden area, active war area, and just be like, yeah, this is where I'm protesting at the root of the situation. But you have to know, like, it was bad.
I just don't see it like solving anything.
Side note, I don't like protests that are just people with picket fences and signs and just yelling. Like, it's like people like, oh, it raises awareness
Yeah.
to a point, but I'm like, we have the internet right now. Seriously, dude, we don't like that. That's like a thing of the past. Like, we have the internet. Spread the information on the internet, and then we do things in a strategic manner. Stop buying from these companies.
Boycotting
Things like
all that shit, that'll affect them.
like when they did with
exactly.
like Kellogg, and that shit started to hurt.
Starbucks,
Yes.
Bud Light.
$30 billion Starbucks lost.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that sort of thing is way better. The whole picket, you're just putting yourself into harm's way, and then it's an easy way for you to be painted as like a domestic terrorist, an evil group. They can plant anybody inside you, and they start a riot, and now, oh well, this group, because now you're in that group.
What happened with the J6 shit? They took all of the people's cell phones, and that's why they're in jail.
But also,
They track them by their cell phones.
They're
So,
bad
like,
people, like
Yeah.
in government that'll purposely create black swan events.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. And
That's also
that's
a
what I'm saying.
problem.
Like, they'll plant people inside of these protests, and one person that goes crazy. I mean, it's you get a couple people who are really, really adamant about a situation. Like when they had like at the schools, at the college campuses, and they had kids that were like busting in and actually like, breaking and entering into buildings, and they were actually tagging and graffiti and destroying windows. Who's to say that there wasn't like, somebody planted in those groups to, guys, let's just push in there. Just push in there. Destroy this place, dude. They don't believe in it. And then, you get a couple people who are like super, super adamant about it. And everybody's like, yes, let's do that. And then everyone starts going with it.
right.
Because it's like a monkey see, monkey do thing.
Yep.
And there isn't enough people. And granted, there was probably people there who had like really, really good IQ. They had really thought. But emotion-driven people will do things that are not in best interest for the cause. Every time, anytime.
Agreed. Yeah, and it always leads to bad things when you got emotion-driven people in those kind of situations, especially when there's a massacre. And the other thing, yeah, monkey see, monkey do. How much of that shit is being done now? A lot.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
That's why we call them the sheeps.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of we always say this shit. Not a lot of critical thinking being done, right?
But it's even then they're getting taken advantage of, right?
Mhm.
In that moment, like, you're so vulnerable because you feel like everyone around you is for your cause, and you don't even know these people most of the
Right.
time. And like one person just says it, two people agree with it, 5, 7, 8, and then you're just like, well, shit, dude, I'm with this crowd. This is what we stand for. And then next thing you know, now we're driving a bulldozer down Denver.
As long as it's a Komatsu.
You got to be that Komatsu, baby.
Welcome back to the Crude Project, everyone. I am here with Ant and Kevin the 2 Cent. And as always, we have a great episode for you guys, an informative episode. Missed a lot. We'll be doing a little bit of a recap. A lot of crazy shit that's happened. Starting with
Lebanon. We're going to be going kind of over the the recent events have been happening in Lebanon and other worldly news. But yeah, we're going to talk about the devices that have been known to be exploding in Lebanon, and that varies from pagers to cell phones and other electronics.
Right. What's going on in North Korea,
Japan.
Pakistan. And so, yeah, stay tuned for all of that. Before we get to all of that, if you guys enjoy the content, please like and subscribe for more. You smell that? Dark bark. Oceanwood motion. Exotic executive.
Smells like success. Do you want a scent that'll hide your farts? Dark bark.
Do you want a scent that smells like a vacation you can't afford? Oceanwood motion.
Do you want a candle that'll hide the scent of your mistress? Exotic executive.
We told you we would do it. We've partnered with IllumineScents. We've created our own scents. Skip the FOMO. Buy our candles. We'll drop the link for you guys down below to check them out. Stay tuned. So, big news. I know we are a couple days late into covering this, but by the time you guys hear this, yeah, it'll be a few days.
A few days more.
Yeah, a few days more. But anyways, so what we have from the exploding devices in Lebanon, all the chaos that's going on over there. Right off the bat, right? 5,000 pagers were detonated all over Lebanon. These 5,000 pagers resulted in over 3,000 people severely injured. Hospitals, you can imagine what the hell is going on over there. Among them, so far, has been about 3 kids found unalived and 30 people in total unalived. A little bit into the pagers. Well, who developed these pagers? Apparently, the first news that came out, it was said to be this company in Taiwan. But later on, it wasn't Taiwan. That company in Taiwan actually only has the trademark and the patent. But there's this other company called BAC Consulting. This was the company that is based out in Hungary that manufactured and produced these pagers. But get this. While it was manufactured and produced in Hungary,
Yeah.
during that phase of it, Israeli Mossad agents were overseeing the manufacturing of these pagers and therefore made sure that these pagers were installed with about an ounce of explosives in each pager, right next to the batteries.
That's insane.
And so,
I had heard
It
about
was-
that. I heard that the actual explosives
yeah.
were transported to like these other countries
Mm-hmm.
years prior. So this is not like something that was like, oh, let's do this. This is a planned event.
It was definitely premeditated.
100%.
It was definitely premeditated. And I mean, so here's the thing. A lot of people are cheering for this, the people that are pro-Israel, right? They're cheering for this. They're in support of it. They're like, oh, what a great strategic move to get rid of so-called terrorists. Who are these terrorists? The Hezbollah military group, also a political group in Lebanon. Not every single member of them are a military group or military member. Some are in agriculture, some are in the medical field, doctors, lawyers, whatever. And among them were a bunch of doctors, bunch of nurses that had these pagers, and they exploded and they were injured. Now, according to people who are saying, you know, this was a great move by Israel because they got rid of the so-called terrorists, were those doctors terrorists?
No.
Were those kids that died among them, were they terrorists? And then they were like, so a lot of people were saying that this was strategically sent because the military group Hezbollah were going to acquire them. Incorrect. That has been debunked because because of the fact that they were in possession of kids. They were just and then the hospital workers and people are, oh, why are these hospital workers have pagers? Well, it's a freaking hospital, and it's not America, where we can all have brand new things.
True. Yeah. True.
And hospitals usually have pagers for emergencies. So when they say that these were designated or sent because they were targeting the military group members, that's incorrect because, well, the hospital workers had them. They're not terrorists.
There was just random civilians.
There was random civilians that had these. And Israel went along with, it doesn't matter. Go along with the plan. We'll get as many of the military members. And if the civilians get injured or unalived as well, doesn't matter. The goal is to cause this mass chaos, mass unalive event so that we can have our war. And their chief military officer, I believe it is, military commander of Israel, I forgot his first name, but his last name is Gallant, announced that we're shifting into the new phase of the war, and we're turning our attention towards Lebanon. And they sent a huge regiment, a huge platoon, I think it's about 20,000 soldiers of Israel. Yeah. Of the IDF soldiers, 20,000 of them, they sent them north to start a new phase of war against Lebanon. And this, they were hoping that by doing this, they were going to get some sort of retaliation from the Hezbollah group. So
they could just do like what they did in Palestine.
Exactly. So they could say, see, the Hezbollah group attacked us again. We are only doing what we are always done. We are defending ourselves. And that's when you get your war in Lebanon. And then you get your, what Netanyahu has always wanted, the greater Israel.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had multiple waves of this. So the second wave was cell phones, walkie-talkies, radios, laptops, and the last two, fingerprint sensors and home solar systems. Like,
yeah,
that's easily arguable that fingerprint sensors are for, higher level activity, higher securities, hospitals, certain, government areas,
certain corporate buildings,
there's so many things. And then home solar systems. They might as well just put them in smoke detectors at this point.
Right.
Like what? This is so far from a strategic attack towards, like, I'm sure they probably killed some military people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good. I don't know how to explain it in a way to where to really justify how horrible of an attack this is.
Yeah.
Because children were involved, innocent people. Just imagine you just pull up your cell phone and that thing just goes off, dude.
Right.
Like that makes no sense. And as you were saying, people are just like, oh yes, Israel, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how do people think like, oh, this is great. This is great. How could you like literally be happy for that sort of a movement forward, right?
Right.
Where's honor in that?
So before I dive too much into because I have a couple questions that I'd like you to kind of think on it as well, right?
Sure.
But before that, I have a couple videos of people's insane reactions to this. And one of the people, this clip has been going viral, and it's honestly disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. Michael Rappaport, y'all know who that is?
Not familiar.
Pull up the clip of Michael Rappaport. He's recording himself, and he's laughing like a maniac about this. All right, play that real quick.
Beep, beep.
Bro.
Beep beep.
Like, seriously?
But imagine, you know, if
Imagine
that
that phone just blew up in his face.
exactly.
How would
Exactly.
you feel?
Yeah, imagine it. You know, his mother, his sister, brother, cousin, children. They're just playing with the phone,
Yeah.
and then it goes off in the other room.
There's another video. There's these two guys. Apparently, they're podcasters. I want you to pull that up, okay? Because this gives you a little bit of insight
just
into the
erase Gaza.
mentality of like just almost everybody who is brainwashed by this whole Palestine bad, Palestinians bad. You know, check this out.
To just erase Gaza. Every single living being in Gaza would no longer be living tomorrow. I would press it in a second. That's just, I think most Israelis
If
probably
that's the
agree.
choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, even if it's not like right now,
Yeah, no.
I would press it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and same with the territories.
Give me that button and press it right now.
There you go.
And I think most Israelis would.
Yeah, most Jewish
They wouldn't.
Israelis.
They wouldn't post. They wouldn't talk about it like I am.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't post. They wouldn't say I pressed it, but they would press it. Right? Like if they were in a
Yeah.
closet alone, they would. They wouldn't even hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
Someone came to them and said, "No one will know. You press this, all the Palestinians are gone." You'd be like, "Fucking hey, is there another one?"
That's actually wild. That's actually crazy. That's a little over the top.
Bro, it just goes to show you like the brainwashing. And this is what they do with the youngsters in Israel as well. They just like they brainwash them to the point where they have no outside perspective of how to treat another human being.
Exactly. No, that's the amount of savagery that shows. And they always claim the people of Gaza or Palestine, they're all terrorists, they're savages, they're crazy people that just want to murder. That just displayed exactly what they're trying to destroy.
Yeah, give me a button,
I'll kill innocent people. Is just black and white what they're just saying, and that's wild to me that people could have that mentality at the drop of a hat,
right.
and just be like, yeah, I'll just murder people that I have I know nothing about other than what I've been fed. And I haven't done a bit of research for myself. I've never been in the military. I really don't know those guys, but I feel like they're obviously not probably in the military at all.
Doesn't seem like it. They're sitting in a room recording a little. They're probably somewhere in US, honestly.
I'm sure. And I'm sure they're probably sitting pretty now because the US government was like, oh, sweet. Thanks. I like what you did there.
Right.
Top of YouTube for you, buddy.
Man. And then that second wave of attack, right? First off, it was pagers, right? And they were like, "Oh yeah, well we did. It was the pagers. It was supposed to be because we wanted to get rid of the terrorists." Well, that's been
What terrorist group is using a pager, dog?
right.
It's a pager. Like I think they would use like the walkie-talkies.
So
I could see something like that, but a fucking pager.
here's the thing. You know what's a little more crazier than that? You know, when we said this is premeditated, something other to like solidify it. There was a let me see if I wrote the place down. American. Hold on. I want to get the name of this correct. Yeah. So the pagers of all the doctors and nurses were targeted with the exception of the American University of Beirut Hospital. All of their staff was asked 10 days prior to this event to replace all of your pagers with a new batch.
Well, that's strange. Isn't that weird? That's kind of what a coincidence. How odd would that be?
American University of Beirut Hospital. So,
Wow.
yeah, premeditated or what? Because, I mean, it just goes to show you, man. Like, it's so crazy. This is so insane. The level of heinous shit that they can come up with and they can do and get away with is insane.
Oh yeah, the international court system's still been on them. They've been on them, but it's like it doesn't even matter. Why do we have the international court system if
They're not doing anything that they're
we
supposed to be
we
doing.
put warrants out and it's just like I'm gonna go to the U.S. and talk in front of their elected officials. So
Right.
eat a frank.
Right. And then, so my question, so when we're calling these people terrorists, right? What if, say, situation went sour? For what hypothetical situation, right?
Okay.
Situation
Okay.
went sour, and now all of a sudden we are enemies with France or the UK or Israel themselves, right? And they do the exact same shit here to US. Are we still going to call the French terrorists for doing that? Are we going to call the UK terrorists for doing that? Are we going to call Israel at that point the terrorists for doing that? People are so comfortable with the fact that, oh, we have these allies and they're going to be our allies forever. Another thought that occurred, right, was how many of your electronic devices or your home appliance systems that, like yourself, your fridge, newer fridges have a whole bunch of high-tech stuff in it now. They can connect to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, washers, dryers, fridges.
Dog, how much of the tech devices are being made in China?
Oh yeah, all overseas.
Does US consider China an enemy? Yes. So now you got to think, are the Chinese implanting an ounce of explosives into the cell phones, into the electronic devices that are being made over there and imported back? Should we be concerned about the electronic devices that we are carrying every day and it says made in China?
That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild thought. I didn't think about that.
It's just like you got to start, when you go into this level of warfare, bro.
You just got to start living in the mountain at this point.
I mean, at this point, gloves are off. You know what I'm saying?
That's wild. Yeah. No, that's crazy to think about that, but it's yeah. I think this is probably one of the not the worst, but like one of the worst tactics that we're seeing Israel perform without batting an eye, and they just have undying support.
Right.
And it just speaks volumes to people who can just be like, yes, let's go. I'll push this button. I laugh at them. Their pagers blowing up. When these people probably couldn't even deal with the hardship of, living in like a third world country
Right.
for a week.
We're comfortable. We have become way too comfortable. These people that are laughing at things like this have become way too comfortable, all the way here across the pond, and there has been no wars on our soil. They haven't seen anything crazy going on here.
Oh, yeah.
To that degree.
Not at all.
So therefore,
Generations.
they're comfortable with sitting out here in their AC'd homes and laugh about things like this because it doesn't affect them, and it's never affected them to that degree.
Yeah.
So they don't have an understanding of what that is like.
Yeah. The human life that is lost at
But-
the simple fragile act
Yeah.
due to greed. I don't know. I don't even know.
It is greed, dog. It is greed. It's this belief that, oh, we belong in this land that, well, here's the thing about that one statement, right? We belong in this land. This land has always been ours, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
There is this guy. His name is Darryl Cooper. His podcast name is Martyr Made. Go listen to him. 6-part series of the entire beginning to end, beginning to present, of the conflict between Israel, Palestine, and everything that goes on between it. Very, very comprehensive and unbiased third-person perspective. He provides all of that. Go listen to that. Go listen to this guy, Darryl Cooper, and then you will understand what it really means to be an actual proper human being and stop being so biased about all this bullshit and stop claiming that something is yours when it really isn't, and it's just a propaganda, and that you have been brainwashed into believing something that you shouldn't have, and you should think for yourself. It's really eye-opening. So yeah, give it a listen. But anyways, this new development or new findings, new reports of Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan discovers a new oil reserve, making Pakistan the 4th largest oil deposit in the world. So
They finna feel democracy, baby.
democracy, baby.
Democracy.
Well, let's see how that plays out.
Did you say weapons of mass destruction?
Heard y'all need a little bit of help from the U.S. government. We'll send everything we got your way. No, we don't need. What? Welcome to the U.S. No, we didn't.
Oh my God. All right. Anyways, yeah. Let us know in the comment section what you guys thought about this whole situation. If we missed anything, let us know in the comment section as well. I know that stories are always developing and we may have missed something or here and there or whatever. Just let us know in the comment section, and follow us for a great commute listen on Spotify if you cannot watch the YouTube video. And with that being said, we will see you guys on the next one.